A New Jersey town has found a creative way to crack down on unruly parents at Little League games. Deptford Township's Little League officials have already had 2 volunteer umpires quit this season after confrontations with parents. And it's a scene that's become all too common, not just in New Jersey, but all across the country. So Deptford Township now has a new rule. If a parent or other spectator fights with an umpire, they have to suit up and officiate themselves for 3 games. A certified umpire will be on the field to make sure the calls are correct. They say it's not about the person being able to call a game, but to realize what it's like out there and to see that it's not that easy. So let's take this to our group chat. ABC News contributor, national sports columnist Christine Brennan joins me now, along with clinical psychologist Jeff Gardier and Michael McMiller, assistant varsity basketball coach and father of highly touted prospect Kyomi McMiller, for more on this. Thank you all for being here. Michael, I want to start with you. Your daughter is one of the top prospects for next year's recruiting class. So from the outside, it's really easy to say, calm down, it's just a game. But how hard is it sometimes to bite your tongue when you disagree with an official's call, especially when so much is on the line?
So you're talking about it as a coach, correct?
As a coach and as a parent, you tell me.
Well, my perspective is more on a coach's side. I'm not one to really talk too much to the officials anyway, but I think there's a level where you talk about, rec parents versus elite parents. The rec parents are more so unrealistic, and I think they're more they put a lot of pressure on these kids when the kids really aren't really into the game as much as they are. So that's just my perspective on things. The parents are just putting too much pressure on the kids when the kids are really not, they don't take the game that serious.
So what do you think of this New Jersey town's rule that if you fight with the umpire, you become the umpire?
I don't know if that's the way it should work. I think maybe you should put some parents into some classes. And it kind of reminds me of there's a movie called Kicking and Screaming. That's more of a coach being, kind of crazy and over the top. But, the parents are going to be over the top regardless of what you kind of, implement. I think it probably needs to be more security, maybe at games. That's what I think. And be more visible also.
Now, Christine, a lot of parents see sports as a way to potentially pay for college or just as a pathway to a better life for their children. How much has that landscape changed over the last few years? Are the stakes higher now?
Yes, Diane, they are. And certainly for parents, it is tough because you're cheering like crazy. I've been in that situation. I've been cheering family members in youth sports. And you do kind of lose yourself in the thought of, oh, gosh, maybe they'll start in high school. That's obviously the first one, right? And then maybe they'll make the travel team or they'll play club basketball or volleyball. And of course, now we're talking girls and boys. This used to be 50 years ago, just 50% of our country. Now it's 100%, which is great. That's Title IX. Girls are getting these opportunities, young women. But it also then adds to maybe the other 50% of our population is now going a little crazy too. Because at the end of the day, you're hoping your child is kind of that winning lottery ticket. Even the best parents, want their child to love it, follow their child. If the child quits, okay. But that's hard. After you've sunk, as of course everyone knows, as you've sunk thousands of dollars into AAU teams or club teams and travel, and now your child says, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, Mom and Dad. That can be a tough one. You've got to follow the child. But having seen this on the Olympic side for years, I've covered gymnasts and gymnastics and tennis, figure skating, and watching the burnout of these young kids. It can have a very troublesome side effect, Diane. And that obviously is the issue, how to balance the love of the sport and you're encouraging your child with the real raw situation where if they're put on the discard pile before they reach their 18th birthday, what does that do to them for the rest of their life?
Jeff, there's so much to unpack. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, she's absolutely right about that. So that's what I'm talking about with the unrealistic parents. they're just putting a lot of pressure on a kid that really isn't that serious about the game as much as these parents are about the game. Is almost living through the child. And you know, the kids they're going to tell you very early like what they're interested in. I encourage parents to just really pay attention to their kids and see what they take interest in, and whatever they take interest in, you kind of push them towards that. But when you're living through the child, you know, it's never going to end good, and you probably end up ruining your relationship with the child later on. They end up resenting you.
Yeah, you want to make sure they're playing.
Yeah, I see it all the time where you got parents in the stands. They really don't even know the game. They just yelling, you know, crazy things from the stands. It doesn't even make sense a lot of times when the game's going on.
Jeff, I want to pull you in there because there's so much to unpack from a psychological perspective here. In this environment, with NIL deal now is going to people younger and younger, and so much on the line in some cases, how much pressure is on the officials, the parents, and the kids, even from this young age? And like Michael's saying, in some cases when they may not be that serious about the sport, how much pressure is on all the people involved here, and what does that pressure do to everyone involved?
Well, what we do know, there was a study done by the Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health where they said, you know, that team sports are really great for the mental health of children, but parents need to avoid becoming critical or over-involved. And what we tend to see now with the name, image, and likeness deals that are coming out, that there may be a lot more pressure on these youngsters, on the officials, on the parents, because it's a much bigger game. You know, not everyone is as poised as our own Kiyomi McMiller, who we know who's doing very well with this. And congratulations to her dad and to her, of course. But the important thing is we have to look at the stress, the pressure that are on the kids. They're the ones who we have to pay attention to in every way. We want them to be successful. We want them to have fun in sports. We want them to understand the importance of winning, also learning from the losing, but at the end of the day, we want them to be happy.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Jeff Gardier, Christine Brennan, Mike McMiller, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.